We all know that feeling. The morning alarm, the daily commute, the same desk, the same routine, the same awful cup of coffee, the same grind. But what if there was another way? Welcome to Full-Time to Freelance, where we are following the incredible journeys of people who dare to break free from the 9 to 5 and chase their dreams. It's true, my name is North and I'm the host for this series, and I made the leap having gone from full-time to freelance back in April 2024. If you're curious about my story, I'll link it up here and also in the description. However, in this episode of Full-Time to Freelance, I jumped in the car and headed to Eastbourne to catch up with Courtney Fraser-Bates, who is the founder and co-owner of Boss Gym, who transformed his passion for fitness into a thriving business. The interesting thing is though, Courtney has a full-time job on the side. How does that work? So I changed into my gym gear and I went to find out.
My name's Courtney Fraser-Bates and I'm the head of marketing at Crunch. I'm also the owner of Boss Gym and the founder of the UPT app. I left university like a lot of people didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had a creative writing degree, which doesn't sound so useful on paper when I look back at it. I got an internship at a digital marketing agency. Actually, I paid £600 a month and my travel was £630 a month. So I spent money to work, essentially. But you know, it's what you have to do to, like you say, cut your teeth in an industry. So I started there just writing website copy. Really enjoyed it, and I was taught all the other digital marketing elements because I was writing copy for PPC, social media, email, and web. You sort of learn all of the elements of marketing. So I sort of became a bit of a generalist in marketing. It was the data I really fell in love with. Seeing the results from the work that you've done, and really understanding customer intent and all the triggers and all the behavioural signs that you can see from data. And it was actually from a conversation with my partner at the time, some of her friends, who on about the 20th occasion that I'd met them, sort of asked me what I did for work. I said, I'm head of marketing. I'm like, never heard that before. We assumed you were a PT, because all we ever talk about is the gym. I thought, maybe that's not a bad idea. So I started to teach myself online and then did the courses to be a personal trainer. But that as my side hustle, so I'd work doing my 9 to 6 in marketing, and then would see some PT clients in the evening just for some extra income and also just to learn a little bit about the industry. From there, I moved back to Eastbourne, worked in a local gym just to see what they did well and what they didn't do so well. Yeah, and went from there really, started to see the possibilities to how it could come about, did my research, found a unit, found a company that you can purchase the equipment off, just started to sort of formulate a plan in my mind for if I was going to do it, this is how I would approach it.
So what were the key learnings here? Well, firstly, if you've got an idea, investigate it thoroughly. There are all sorts of resources at your fingertips like Google and other AI tools that you could use to investigate your idea. Secondly, if you don't know it, learn the craft. Courtney trained as a personal trainer and got freelance jobs really learning how to deliver the service that he wanted. Thirdly, check out the competition, again, thoroughly. Courtney worked at a local gym in Eastbourne, undercover if you will, to see how others did it. Fourthly, go for it, but be prepared to lose some money, but never ever give up. I then asked Courtney the most obvious question.
Did I want to run my own business? I think always in the back of my mind. It's weird, you sort of, you go to university, you get taught X and Y, you get taught how to learn, and you go into an organisation and you follow orders and you report in and do your job. So I don't think entrepreneurship is really encouraged in the UK that much. It's not, maybe enough is made of it. There's not like a course in how to be your own boss. And I guess it would be difficult to do that. So it was in the back of my mind. And then when I moved to Eastbourne and I started working for myself as a marketeer, I saw actually I quite like this, quite enjoyed it. So then I was making enough money from marketing that I could take a bit of a gamble and maybe find my revenue stream in my passion as well. So I think it wasn't really on my mind until it happened. 2016, I was in London working like normal, thought that would be the route forever. By 2018, I'd sort of blown my life up, as it were, broke up with my partner, moved out of my house, moved back to Eastbourne, quit my job all in about a month. Came back to Eastbourne and went out by myself, first of all in the industry I knew most about, and that was in marketing. So as soon as I could get enough clients to live and pay all my bills, I thought, well, actually, this can be done. So until I did it, I didn't know I wanted to do it or even know it was possible. It just sort of happened.
Right.
I'm really glad it did.
You've got a full-time job as well, right? So you're doing both?
Yes. So I have a full-time role as head of marketing at Crunch. So I run the marketing division, work with the leadership team to sort of drive revenue, target, subscriptions, try and get the message out there to why Crunch is so great. Yeah, I'd never stopped with the marketing side of my work. Even when I was planning the gym, I was working slightly as a PT, online marketeer as well. So I had a few clients that I would go in, audit what their marketing efforts were like, seeing how I can improve, up their sales. So companies, local building firms, home furnishings company, and a renewable energy, which actually, in the process of working there, they offered me more and more time because the results were going the right way. The gym didn't need me quite as much, so it's a bit of a balance. The gym was running itself. My partner was running the gym as sort of the owner, and we had a general manager in, assistant manager, and so on. So I thought, maybe this is a good opportunity. Went to, like I say, a local renewable energy firm, started doing their marketing, really enjoyed it, ended up going full-time there. Then, I saw the Crunch opportunity online, like the sort of what the brand stood for, liked the job role, sort of aligned with what I was good at. So I thought, I'll have an apply and see what happens. You never know. If they say no, that's my answer. So I thought I'd give it a go. I was reticent at first to put down that I was a business owner. Sometimes maybe, mixed priorities. So I thought honesty is the best policy. I brought it up in my interviews, had a good chat with Darren, the CEO, and actually found he was quite excited that someone would have a side hustle, someone would have a business to work on. And actually that maybe as, the gym, for instance, could use Crunch's services as a small business, the ideal sort of candidate. So I was coming in with a sense of why Crunch might be useful for my business, that gave me a new spin on how I could push Crunch out to our audience.
So how did this business come about? Because having spoken to you before, there's a bit of a backstory about kind of how this came together, because it happened during those, and I won't say the word, but during those odd years of 2020, 2021.
Yeah, odd years. So basically I was working for the different companies doing the marketing. So I met a few people from there, a few connections, some investors that way. It was actually someone I was training with who had been in their mind to open a gym. So we got chatting over the gym, over a beer, and just thought, is this a possibility? Is this a go or not? Actually, in the sort of February, March time, 2020, started to put the plans in place, put the feelers out, found the property, found the company that would be able to sell us the equipment on finance, drummed up the money, savings, loans, all the other bits you got to do to get a business going. Then we locked ourselves into a load of those contracts in like the Feb, March, and then the world went into lockdowns. So we were committed. Fortunately, managed to negotiate some good terms on rent freezes and didn't have to pay for the kit whilst we didn't have it. So we opened, September 2020. We were open and shut, and then shut for quite a bit of time into 2021. So really, in my mind, so much we opened September 2020, the real opening was April 2021.
You had a full-time job, you've now got another full-time job, you're running your own gym as well. How do you blend the two together?
Just having the right people in place. Fortunate as well that my partner Susie, who's been running the gym, is motivated, if not more than me, in terms of she really just does want to work for herself, so she's happy with running the gym. So someone I can trust in that sense, having a partner working on it with me. Then it's hiring the right people, make sure it's covered. It's a business that opens at 5:30 a.m. till 11 p.m. We can't be here all the time anyway, so you've got to trust the people that are in situ on them doing their job. So that's it. You just get a little bit of faith in people, and then just having the right setup. So Susie running it and me working, that's a nice bit of balance. And then I can help in the evenings or the weekends on some marketing or sales, while she does all the operational elements.
So how did Courtney fund the business and how was it rolled out? Well, first of all, he saved up money from marketing roles to seed the business. Secondly, he found the right property for the gym that was affordable. And then thirdly, he found the right gym kit provider that he could lease the kit from to avoid a massive capital outlay. Fourthly, he sourced cost-effective business loans to get the business up and running. And then also, he got the right team in place. So with all that set up, what were the growth plans like?
It's changed, to be honest. It used to be own multiple gyms, and actually life throws curveballs at you. So I didn't anticipate having any kids. I've got two, which I love, wouldn't change it at all. But it just changes your perspective on things. This is not the sort of business you want to have multiple of if you've got like a young family. So for now, for this, having the gym, I'm more than happy. Like I say, people in Eastbourne will know me. The gym's got really good reputation, really good reviews. So in terms of me having a business that I can be proud of, absolutely fine. Then it's pivoting and moving to new areas. So I touched on earlier, we're going to create our own app, or UPT. So that's a more scalable business that we can do from at home while managing the family and the other elements we've got. So for instance, with the gym, if something was really needed, I might have to leave my house to actually come down here and do something. Whereas with the UPT app, I can log off at 5:30, 6 o'clock, whenever Crunch needs me. I'll be at Crunch, I'll do my job to the best of my ability. And actually, within half an hour, I can be logged back onto a different system and be working on the app. So it's less about growing this business, more about growing our portfolio and having different revenue streams, because you want that safety blanket. I've changed most from this in terms of how I think about different work. So, for instance, even when I worked with clients before in a marketing standpoint, it'd be very much just looking at the marketing. So who are your potential customers? How can we find, where do they live? What are they, digital natives or are they not? How are we going to find them? How are we going to promote your services or your offerings to those customers? Was actually, you then realize all the different elements that come into running a business: accounts, logistics, health and safety, HR, stock and supply, all the different elements. So it's maybe a bit more patient because you now realise what people go through. You know, there's a lot going on. But it's maybe more strategic. So, like I say, going back to Crunch, I'm working there. Yes, I run the marketing, but we have to work closely with sales, product transformation, engineering, all the different elements of the company. But as a wider company to think about, I wouldn't want to make a decision that impacted negatively on them because they are the people who still deliver the service. So you can look at it two ways. One, just to be a good human being and create a nice culture. I don't want to work somewhere with a bad culture, so I want to have a good culture in my company. But secondly, they will then be in the position to deliver best results, which will then help me get the results that I'm tasked with.
Once the core business was set up and running, he then had to find someone that he trusted to run the gym, and it turned out to be his partner. I asked Courtney about multiple gyms. Initially, he said absolutely, yeah. However, there was a pivot due to family commitment, and that pivot's completely okay. He then decided to create a personal training app called UPT app, which is far more scalable, which then gives him time back to help with the family. He then chose the stability of a full-time job and worked with a business, and particularly a leader, that supported team members in having side hustles. The next question I asked him was, what does success look like for him?
Success for me, two metrics. Bottom line, and however you want to report that, does it make money? Because at the end of the day, we're in business, we want to make money, that's what we are here to do. But there's a second part to it, and to be frank, you don't necessarily get a gym business to be a millionaire. It doesn't really work like that, there's a lot of overheads. So the other side of it will be, how is that product viewed? And Darren's very similar to me with this at Crunch, is, are people happy with the product? Would they want to actually recommend it to a friend? Are they happy with the service they get? Same with the gym. I'd always say the greatest achievement we've had with the gym is not even getting it running or making money or anything like that. It's the reviews we get. It's a big old gym, lots of weights, lots of MMA. We have all the fighters and all the bodybuilders, but actually everyone's saying it's an inclusive space. They have a lot of fun. It's created a really good atmosphere. It'll be the same for Crunch, and I know it is with Darren. Is yes, we want to be successful in terms of KPIs within the company to make money and all these other things, but actually, is it a product that we're proud of?
How do you give back to the community?
We give back to the community in a few ways. It's always been forefront of my mind. We've done charity raises. We work with the food banks local to us here. So every sort of major event, Christmas we've done it. At Easter we've collected Easter eggs, and all the major drives that they have is we'll try and provide some food for that there. We've got a couple of charity boxes on the way in. We ask that for members. We've done a few events in the town where we raised some money for Mind charity and a few others. And then we've also done things like we've had work experience in, so we have people, there's different ways. I think there's charity, but there's also helping upskill people. I'd like to think I've got some knowledge I can pass on to individuals. So we've had a lot of people come through the door that, not in the best employable state as it is now, and to try and get them to that, give them the work experience, give them the knowledge and the confidence to do that. We've also done free self-defense courses, so for women can come in and do self-defense for free. So obviously we pay for the instructor and all the space, just to provide something that was quite needed at the time. As well as just your basic stuff, trying to create an affordable atmosphere. So we've got kids classes, mum and baby classes. So it's just trying, as much as that's a business target, is actually, so Susie, my partner, is very adamant that she wants to get women into the gym and maybe groups that aren't so comfortable in a space like this. So it's opening up the doors in a organic way, is to actually find the approach that will work best for that individual, and not in a way that necessarily makes us the most money. We pay for the instructor for the parent and baby classes. It's not a huge profitable area for us, but it's actually a challenge that a lot of new parents are facing, is finding the time to train. So we offer that down here. So if there was 3 things to people who are thinking about doing their own thing, is research it as much as possible first. Find out what's going on in the industry. So I actually worked at 2 local gyms in Eastbourne before I opened my own, to see what they did that I didn't know about. How did they do payroll? How did they do health and safety? How did they do all the security checks? All of these elements. So sort of went espionage undercover to try and find out what they did well and what they didn't do so well. So I sort of did my market research outside. Second one is be prepared to lose it all. Don't put money in that you haven't got. So okay, well, loans, but make sure it's affordable. So for myself, it's slightly easier because I was still working, I still saw my clients. So at the end of the day, any loans were being paid off not by the gym, but by my own money that I was already earning from not needing to take that from the gym. And thirdly, just go for it, just if you really want. The first 2 are maybe tales of caution. Third one is if you're confident, and just go for it. As long as you're not risking too much, then just go for it. If it's your passion and you feel like you'll enjoy it, then just go for it.
It was such a superb opportunity to have that conversation with Courtney. And just to finish this section off, key metrics we talked about. First, make money, net profit. That's the thing that you need in a business. Secondly, make sure that your clients really love the product or the service that you're delivering. Keep making it better, keep improving it, and also keep asking your clients for feedback whilst making sure you still make a profit. We'll put all of these key takeaways in the description so you can reference back to them later on. And that's it. Join us again on Full Time to Freelance, where dreams become reality, one brave decision at a time. If you want to share your story of going from full-time to freelance or becoming a business owner, subscribe for more of this content, and also let me know in the comments, and one of the team will reach out and get in touch. We'll be back again soon with more inspirational stories of transformation of those that have switched from full-time to freedom. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.